Before the story begins, I want to ask everyone to subscribe to the channel so you never miss the stories we share here. The atmosphere in the dining area felt heavy, almost as if the room itself was holding its breath. My fork hovered above my plate, resting over a piece of chicken that remained untouched. Then Sarah's voice sliced through the stillness. "I had lunch with James today," she said casually, her gaze fixed on the red wine swirling in her glass. My chest tightened instantly, a sharp chill spreading through me like ink soaking into paper. James. Her former lover. The man she promised had been erased from her life 2 decades ago, when we began ours. I watched her closely, waiting for something more, but she only lifted the glass and took a cautious sip, her lips quivering slightly against the rim. "How was it?" I asked, surprised at how calm my voice sounded compared to the chaos inside me. She stiffened. Her fingers wrapped more firmly around the glass. In that brief pause, it felt as if the ground beneath me shifted. The dining room, once a place of comfort, now resembled a spotlighted stage. The oak table, the low hum of the refrigerator, even the crayon marks our daughter had left on the wall seemed sharper, almost accusing. The faint tap of Sarah's wedding ring against the glass echoed loudly in my ears. I searched her face, trying to find the woman I had loved for 20 years, but her green eyes refused to meet mine. Something unreadable hid behind them. "It was okay," she finally replied, placing the glass down with exaggerated care. "We were just talking. Catching up." Her words sounded light, but each one added weight to the doubt growing inside me. I wanted to trust her, desperately, but memories from the past few months flooded my mind. Late evenings at work. Her phone lighting up at odd hours. Smiles that felt distant, which I had blamed on exhaustion. Now those moments burned brightly, no longer easy to ignore. "After all this time?" I asked quietly. "Now?" She nodded, tucking a strand of auburn hair behind her ear, a nervous gesture I hadn't seen in years. "He's in town for work." "It was only lunch, Mark." There was a crack in her calm, a defensiveness that twisted my stomach. I set my fork down, the sound louder than I intended. After that, we drifted into safer subjects, our daughter's school, a dripping faucet, but my thoughts wouldn't slow. James. The name alone dragged up images from Sarah's younger years. Intensity. Turmoil. A love that burned fast and wild. She had chosen me instead. Dependable, steady Mark. Or at least, that's what I believed. As she cleared the table, her movements were quick and tense, as though she was preparing for something. I wanted to press her, to demand the truth, but fear held me still. What if the reality was worse than what I imagined? That night, sleep refused to come. Darkness wrapped around the bedroom. Sarah's breathing was calm beside me, yet it felt foreign, almost dishonest. Moonlight filtered through the blinds, striping her face, and I wondered when she had started feeling like a stranger. Had she laughed with him earlier that day? Had she leaned in close, her fingers brushing his the way they once brushed mine? I turned onto my back, staring at the wall, at the crooked photo frame holding our smiling faces. 20 years. 2 decades filled with joy, arguments, and promises. Could everything really be coming undone over a single lunch? The next morning, she was already awake, humming softly as she moved around the kitchen. Coffee brewed. Toast popped. Everything felt rehearsed, like a scene meant to convince me nothing was wrong. "You're up early," I said, resting against the counter. She smiled, but it didn't touch her eyes. "I couldn't sleep," she answered, stirring sugar into her cup. Her phone sat nearby, silent. I resisted the urge to grab it, to search for proof of something I wasn't ready to face. Instead, the question slipped out. "Are you meeting James again?" Her spoon stopped mid-stir. The air thickened instantly. "No," she replied too fast. "It was just that one time." 2 days later, I saw her car parked outside a cafe downtown. I hadn't planned to follow her. I hadn't planned anything at all. But there she was, visible through the window, laughing with him. James looked older, but still confident, still attractive. His hand rested on the table close to hers. Anger and heartbreak collided in my chest, burning painfully. I didn't go inside. I couldn't. I drove away, but the image etched itself into my mind. When she came home later, her cheeks pink from the cold, I was waiting on the couch in the quiet house. "Where were you?" I asked softly. She paused, her coat half off. Something flickered in her eyes. Guilt. "I ran some errands," she said, her voice unsteady. I stood, my hands shaking. "Don't lie to me, Sarah." Her lips parted, then pressed together. Tears filled her eyes. "Mark, it's not what you think," she whispered, but her voice betrayed her. "Then explain," I said, stepping closer. "Tell me what it really is." She collapsed onto the couch, covering her face. "I don't know how it started," she said through her hands. "It was just lunch at first. Then, I missed him. I missed who I used to be with him." Her words cut deep. I wanted to shout, to break something, but I stood frozen. "Do you love him?" I asked, already fearing the answer. She looked up, tears streaking her face. "I love you," she said. But it sounded like desperation, not certainty. Over the next hour, the truth unraveled. Lunches turned into dinners. Messages became phone calls. She insisted it hadn't gone further, but even she didn't sound sure. The betrayal wasn't just emotional. It felt like the life we built was crumbling. "Why?" I asked, my voice breaking. "I don't know," she admitted. "I was lonely, Mark. You were always working. I felt like I didn't exist." The words hurt because there was truth in them. I had been distant. I had assumed our marriage was unbreakable. I stepped outside, needing air. The night was sharp and cold, stars glittering above the quiet street. I thought about our daughter sleeping upstairs, unaware that her world had cracked. I thought about Sarah, imperfect, human, and how deeply I still loved her. But trust, once damaged, is fragile. When I came back inside, she was still sitting there, hands clasped like she was praying. "What happens now?" she asked softly. I didn't respond, not because I didn't care, but because I truly didn't know. The betrayal was undeniable. So was our shared history. Standing there, the weight of 20 years pressed against the pain of her confession. And in that moment, I realized the real twist wasn't what she had done. It was the terrifying truth that I wasn't sure I could ever let her go.